Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to my trading den. This is TradeX, and today we have a hell of a lot to cover. So this is the recap of today's session, and today it is Monday the 13th. All right. So we're going to cover some SMT. We're going to cover some RTH gap closing, and we're going to look at multiple reasons why we would go short in the PM session. Okay. So before we jump into that, guys, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Please do consider smashing the like and subscribe. As always, it does the channel a world of good, and it helps other traders like yourself view this content, right? And that's what it's all about, right? So let's jump straight into the good stuff and start the day from 5 o'clock in the morning. So it was London session, and I'm not going to show you all my trades. I actually took quite a few trades there. I took about 8 or 9 trades, which is not usually how I trade. But all of my trades are posted on Twitter, and I took just short of 80 handles today, right? So I've had an absolute beast of a day, and we're going to break through. We're going to break down some of those trades, right? We're going to break down some of those trades, and so by the end of it, you guys are going to know exactly what to do. You're going to know exactly what to do. So let's start here at 5:37, and this candle on 8:13. Okay, so this was just before the 8:30 news embargo, and we had no news today, but as we know, there's an algo that runs at 8:30. So I was looking at price at 8:30, and because Dixie was doing its own thing, and if we have a quick look at Dixie, I have absolutely no interest in Dixie at the moment. I could not care less what Dixie is doing. It's so detached from from ES. I'm just not even using it as an indicator at the moment. So if it decides to do something absolutely wild, then I'll pick it up again. But honestly, I haven't even looked at Dixie all day. So what was I looking at? And I called this out in Discord and inside Red Pill, and I was talking about I'm going to be looking for SMT divergences. So looking for relative strength within across the different indices to take a gauge on which way I believe the direction was heading. Okay, so if we look at this price action here, we had monstrous SMT divergence with NQ. I mean, guys, it was monstrous. So what was happening? We had ES tanking, right? So you can see this low versus this low is much lower, right? So you can see this was here. Dow, which is YM, was doing exactly the same thing. But let's have a look at what our power was doing, NQ. NQ was doing this, right? NQ was showing relative strength compared to ES and YM. So my first trade, big trade, was actually on NQ. And I shorted up here because, why? Because NQ had to play catch up. NQ had to play catch up. So this was a classic SMT divergence at the 8:30 news embargo, right? So ES was tanking, YM was tanking. What was NQ doing? Not tanking, right? So when we had this this bull flag painting for retail, for me this was just like, oh, here we go. We're about to print today. We are about to print. So I took that short, and you guys can jump over to my Twitter and see my trades. I did take other trades in all of this price action, but if I went through all of that, we would be here until sort of midnight. So we're not going to do that, right? That is the biggest takeaway. To keep an eye on SMT divergency, especially when you have some big distances between them, right? This was a huge divergence across the pairs. Not the pairs, that's the wrong jargon. Across the indices, right? Across the pairs is for forex traders, right? So then we came down into the open, right? Then we came down to the open. And so at this point, I was looking to see where we sat relative to where we were on Friday close. And so what I do at this stage is I will jump to my chart, which has my RTH levels, new week opening gaps, and new day opening gaps. And what did we have? This grey box outlines the gap we had from last Friday close, so last week Friday, to this Friday's open. Right, the contract, this Monday, right? And you can see that there's a big gap. And what do we know about gaps? They like to be filled. So I took an entry down here and I ran up to this mitigation block, which was here. So you can see we had the high, the low, the failed swing high broken through this and becomes a mitigation block. And you can see how price was respecting it throughout throughout this AM session. Okay, so I called out in Discord and I said, look guys, what I'm personally looking for, because I want to see strength, right? I want to see strength before I take a big trade. I wanted to see us get above this old SIBI on the hourly. So if we just go on the hourly chart and we look at this SIBI here, this hourly SIBI, I wanted to see price get it back above that and hold it as support for signs of continuation higher, right? And so we had here on the 5-minute chart, and guys, this is a really technical day, and so just bear with me if you feel like I'm jumping about the charts. But you can see we had this 5-minute SIBI, right? Price broke through that, and it was at this point I was saying to the guys in the channel, I'm going long, right? Why? Because we got back above and we were now holding above that 1 hour SIBI. And now that 1 hour SIBI was acting as support, and we also had the 5-min SIBI just below it, providing that confluence, okay? So I took a trade up into this SIBI here on the 5-min, and that was a trade that I took this morning, okay? What was price ultimately running to? It was running to this displacement leg here, which was on Friday. So if we just pull this out and look at Friday, this was Friday's displacement leg, which hadn't been properly rebalanced. So what do we know about price? It's either running to pools of liquidity above old lows and old highs, or it's searching to rebalance and imbalance. This displacement leg needed to be rebalanced, so price had to go up into a premium before moving the price lower. So that is why price was drawn up into this displacement leg, all right? So I recently just put out something on Twitter, so you guys should go and check it out on Twitter, and I'm going to give you the answers now, right? So we're going to do a link. We're going to link Twitter to YouTube right now, right? So there were 7 reasons why to go short here. There were 7 reasons to go short, and I took this trade, right? There were 7 reasons to go short, and we're going to go through them. All right, we're going to go through them. The first one was we had taken buy-side liquidity, right? We had taken buy-side liquidity. So buy-side liquidity had gone, number 1. Number 2, let's jump onto our 15-minute chart quickly and bring this across. What do we know about 15 minutes? They act as support and resistance, especially when they're at a pivot, right? So this sneaky little 15-minute volume imbalance, drew that across my chart, dropped onto the 1 min, and then look how it respected it, right? Respected that 15-minute volume imbalance. That was number 2. Number 3, 62% of this displacement leg, right? Confluence number 3. Number 4, if we jump down onto our RTH levels, Thursday's RTH open price, right? Thursday's RTH open price. Confluence number 4. Confluence number 5. It was CE of the daily bearish wick, right? CE of the wick on this bearish candle on the daily chart, right? Confluence number 5, I believe that is, losing count. Number 6, hourly chart. This SIBI, it was at equilibrium of that SIBI, number 6. Number 7, we had these relative equal lows, which we had crosshairs on them, right? Because as we know, price likes to be jagged, and these relative equal lows were in the crosshairs. So guys, you had 7 reasons why to go short here. 7 reasons to go short. And what would price have been targeting? What would price have been targeting? It would have been targeting a discount range of that. And what did it run down to? Equilibrium of this daily AM session range, okay? Guys, this is a techie morning. But I hope you're finding value in this. I hope you're finding value because there's absolute gold in all of this. So make sure you're taking notes, all right? Now, I was calling out in Discord. I believe, and I posted this on Twitter, I was expecting a purge of the sell side during post-lunch and then a run to tackle 46.25. We didn't quite get to 46.25, but still, if you look at my trade that's posted on Twitter, I took 40-odd handles here. So let's have a breakdown of reasons why. Firstly, you just saw that equilibrium on that displacement leg. Secondly, this old SIBI that was in the 1 minute chart, I drew that across. Okay, so this was my line in the sand, right? This was my line in the sand. What else did we have there? That 1 hour SIBI again. on the hourly chart. Okay, that was another reason. What's another reason? Let's jump onto the 15. What do we have on the 15? We had an old volume imbalance. So on the 1 minute, you can see how many times it was respected. Okay, let's jump down onto our RTH chart. RTH chart, we had what? We had Friday's close. So it was bouncing off Friday's close. Okay, bouncing off Friday's close and finding support here. All right. So we had multiple reasons to why price was going to run off of this level. All right, multiple reasons. And so I took it here and I traded it all the way up here. Oh no, I didn't. I took it here. Sorry, I took it here and I traded it all the way up here. I was actually doing a teaching lesson inside Red Pill, so I didn't manage it very well. I got stopped out on the way back. I got stopped out here somewhere. So price then obviously rallied back to that volume imbalance and has just chopped around that level. Right, so that is going to cover today's session. Honestly, that is everything that is pertinent to me today that I wanted to cover today, so you guys can digest all of that. What do I think price is doing? So on the hourly, and if you guys have not checked out my three drives from Sunday, which I posted in the ICT Concepts, you'll know that this is my 3 drives pattern, right? And so what I'm looking for is this lowest down close candle to be respected, okay? So if price does not crunch through this, I am macro bullish. And so for tomorrow for CPI, I'll be looking for price to expand away from this, right? Lowest down close candle in the middle drive, hidden order block, okay? So I don't mind that these order blocks are forming here. I'm expecting price to run away and come back into these and use these as a propulsion block to fire off. That is my bias for tomorrow. However, if price decides to go loopy, right, and go on from one and crash down here, I believe we're going to hell. I believe we're going to hell. I think we could see pure blood. So for me, I'd like to see us hold this and show signs of continuation. All right. Now I just want to cover this because this was a good little pickup on this morning's session. So this is part of my London session trade, and I will just touch on it briefly. One thing we have to note is that price does not have to hold above a candle for it to be purged. Right? It can literally just wick through. And so as soon as I saw on the hourly that this buy side got purged, I was immediately looking short. Okay, up here. And this was in the morning session, right? So when we were all up here, I was going short. And so one of the reasons why I went short was this. And I broke it down on Twitter, right? So we had this. Why is that? Oh, okay. Jack. Something stupid, right? Wow, Jack. Right, so let's have a look. Let's bring this down. Let's bring this to here. Bring this to here. What was price failing to do? Right? We had a market maker 2022 model. So we saw on the hourly that it purged, right? So we could see that this buy side here got purged, right? We then had this market structure shift. All right, broke through, price ran back higher and fell through. Once it broke through, we're looking for price to turn into a premium to head lower. But what do we know? If price can't get back above equilibrium, it can't get back into premium, and it is failing to get back above equilibrium of the discount range of the displacement leg, right? I'm drawing this out quickly for you all, right? We know that is an entry because price is showing extreme weakness, right? That is extreme weakness. So bang, there was my entry right in here. As soon as I saw price failing, that was me, I was in. And what was I targeting? I was targeting these relative equal lows that were down here and this SIBI, right, which was on the 1 minute. That was my trade in the morning, and it's so simple. I took 2 contracts, both of them were 10 handles each, so it was 20. That was 20 in that session, just on that trade alone. You can see, like, it's so simple when you know what to look out for. It really is. So guys, that is going to cover absolutely everything there is that I wanted to cover today. There's obviously a lot more detail in that, but you know, wait until you guys jump inside Team Bull, Red Pill Trading, and you will you'll learn far more. So guys, that's going to be it for everything. If you found this useful, please do consider smashing like and subscribe, and as always, until next time, trade safe and trade smart, and I'll see you on the other side. Take care now.